how's it going everyone? Welcome back to another video, and today I have a very short yet simple tier list video of weapons that I recommend and personally believe that if you go into final shape, which is in 8 days from when this video is posted, if you have any of these weapons, if not all of them, I think personally you would be set. This is because I've played with some of you guys and I've played with some friends in the server before, and they've asked what should I use for this encounter, or what would you recommend going into final shape, or what is something that I should get. So I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna make like a little recommendation video. And also, if I sound sick, it's because I am, so it is what it is. But besides that, let's get right into it with a list of weapons that I personally believe are essential and some honorable mentions, but we'll get to that afterwards. Number 1 on the list is any bait and switch edge transit, solely because it does an insane amount of damage for something that you would believe is a very mid weapon. You can get these from the Brave Arsenal and from Onslaught. Everyone knows this. I just wanted to include it if I had to include one of the many weapons, solely because of how good it is. It is a very good DPS tool. It doesn't matter if you get Envious or auto loading, it's up to you, it's up to preference, but Envious bait and switch is amazing. Now for Indebted Kindness, found in Warlord's Ruin. It is a homing missile launcher sidearm. I don't know what you want to call this thing, but it's really fun and it hits really hard. Now, notable perks for the weapons, unfortunately it is not craftable. I go for either Enlightened Action, Beacon Rounds, or Volt Shot. Whichever of the 3 of those perks that I get on the weapon, I will keep. They don't really make that much of a difference. The range on this weapon is really good. The burst damage for anything that is not a boss is really good as well, because it chunks very quickly. Considering you have a lot of ammo, again, the range is nice. If you have Beacon Rounds, tracking is a lot easier. I would say that out of Firefly, Dragonfly, and Volt Shot is kind of like the weaker option, considering there is a reload involved after every kill. If you were to compare it to Incandescent, which after every kill it just spreads, you don't have to necessarily reload the next shot. I don't necessarily have it up on the list. I just have it as another one because everyone is basically doing Warlords for Buried Bloodline, so you're bound to get this weapon as collateral in the meantime. You might as well keep it because it works really good, especially for Nightfalls and Grandmasters, because that's where I have found using this weapon more. But it is probably because there is sidearms that have anti-barrier this season. Maybe that is why, but still, I think it is a must, and it's a very unique weapon as well. It feels like it's straight out of Borderlands. Next on the list, I have a little weapon called Izanagi. Now, all the pro players obviously know that this is an essential S tier, A tier weapon, but for those who don't know, this sniper, as you're about to watch, as soon as this dude spawns and I'm able to actually hit him, because I really don't know where he is, I can chunk this boss if I don't miss. Hold on, I can chunk him for an insane amount of damage, and then if I just shoot one bullet at, say, this dude, right, it's like 300 something, right? If I shoot the boss with one normal bullet to the head, as you can see, 33,000 damage. If I honed edge all the bullets and I just shoot him again, bop, he's on a t-shirt. So this is a very good burst damage sniper, especially for something like Planets, for example, because of all of the capabilities that you can mismatch with Apex Predator and Bait and Switch, Cold Comfort, and other weapons. It doesn't even have to be a rocket launcher. It can be a GL with Bait and Switch as well. But it's for reasons like this that I have it so high on the list. This is where I would believe that we're getting into the personal favorites that really make this video, I guess, what it is for me. Because I believe that Scatter Signal is easily the best fusion rifle in the entire game. Probably above Riptide, above what's the name of the other one? Above Eremite, especially Eremite, okay? Above Cartesian Coordinate. And the reason why is because you have Overflow, which is perfect for giving you ammo, which is whatever. Then you also have Controlled Burst, which means that if you land all the shots of one burst of your fusion rifle, the next one is going to do like 15% more damage, 15, 20. I don't remember the exact number, but look at this. I can shoot 1, 2, and then 3, he's done. This thing is insane. It's also craftable. You can get it from the Riven Slayer / the Coil engrams and stuff like that, the Wish engrams, if you will. This thing is a beast. It works insane for doing damage, and if you don't know how to do damage, if you are not familiar with damage loadouts and whatnot, Tractor Cannon, this weapon, and your super, you will break 2 million damage just fine. Your team will thank you for it, so if you don't have options or you don't know how to do DPS with very extreme loadouts, this is more than enough to help you while you get yourself sorted. I would definitely recommend anyone and everyone gets a Scatter Signal. Next on the list, I have a little bit of a wombo combo, if you will, and it is the Sunshot and Mountaintop. And it is because if you are familiar with Restoration in any extent of the word, you know what Sunshot is. And if you don't, Sunshot is quite literally the best weapon that you can use next to probably Sally's Bane, which is a hand cannon from King's Fall, that will allow you to not only practice Restoration, Radiant, and Chaining these things basically infinite, but every single bullet just feels like it has Firefly, Dragonfly, Volt Shot, you name it, right? This thing is just insane. There's no reason not to use it, and the range, look at this, just one, that's it. That dude's gone. He's on a shirt. He's nowhere to be found. He is not making it home for Christmas. And the other weapon that I want to talk about, which I'll get to in a second, is very accessible to all players because it's similar to Izanagi and maybe even Edge Transit in the same vein of like if you just do Onslaught, eventually you're going to get it. You can basically get Mountaintop from the engrams more than you could probably get from playing the Onslaught, surprisingly. But that weapon, I really recommend you get it, and the reason why is because it can roll with Recombination, which is mainly a perk that we saw in Deepstone. But the reason why you want it is because I'm going to show you. So if you have 10 stacks of Recombination, which is 10 kills of any elemental damage, so it can be Arc, Void, Solar, Super, Strand, Stasis, it doesn't matter, right? Any kill that you get from the actual element itself will proc Recombination, and it'll give you a stack. Once you have 10 stacks of Recombination, you're going to do a lot more damage. It's not going to be 10 times more damage. It's simply going to be a lot more damage. So as you can see, I think I show it here. I show that I don't have any stacks of Recombination, and I killed this enemy for like, I think 52,000 or 48,000, sorry. And as you can see, I get this one kill. I get one more kill, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And then that's basically it. I shoot the dude with two or three stacks of Recombination, and I go from 48,000 damage to 58,000 damage. No well, no tractor, no nothing. This thing is simply insane. It is a baby parasite, and you have no reason not to get it. Now, before we get to the honorable mentions, let's talk about Wilderflight, because this weapon shoots 2 grenade launchers at the same time. As you can see, look at the damage numbers and look at all the white numbers that are on the screen. Like I said, it shoots 2 grenades. So obviously, because it's a grenade launcher, which I'm also going to put on, as you can see, I have Empty Vessel with Vorpal Weapon just to give you a quick comparison, because we both have Vorpal Weapons. So Vorpal Weapon and Boss Spec, they should do about the same damage. Wilderflight simply having a second GL that it can shoot means that it simply does more damage. So if you were to pair it with something like, say for example, a well and tractor and maybe some surges, this thing would probably be breaking more than 200,000 damage very, very, very easily. Now, you would need a little bit more than that. You would probably need some loaders and stuff like that, but you get the point. It would be enhanced, and I'm trying to show you, but it actually does shoot 2 grenade launch pellets. It's kind of hard to see. If you shoot a target, it's more easier to see. I hit her once, and then the other one you saw right there basically went to the left and didn't hit her, and same thing there. You get the point, right? It is a must, and you can get it from Spire of the Watcher. You can basically get it from any encounter, and it works like a dream because it does a lot more damage for literally no work whatsoever. So I recommend everyone go gets it. I will now use this segment of the video to not only show Killing Tally, Demolitionist, Appetence, because I think it's another good gun that you should get, but also to start wrapping up the honorable mentions, because I don't want to drag this video for you guys. A lot of the weapons that are on this list and in the thumbnail, a lot of them are, in my opinion, the S tier and A tier, because they have a variety of perks that you can get from them being craftable, as well as a lot of, I guess you could say, I don't know how to explain it, but you basically have a lot of leeway, and you don't have any excuses that you can make, or you don't have any excuses left with these weapons, because all of them do an insane amount of damage. They're very easy to get and very easy to understand. They all serve for very different parts of the game and for the end game. They all feed into different roles, whether it's support, whether it's medic, whether it's actually going into heavy DPS, whether it's going into casual act clear. You have a lot of options. So when people talk about how they don't know where to start, this is a good, in my opinion, list of weapons that anyone can get, because these are weapons that are most likely not going to leave your arsenal. They're probably going to stay on your character, and the reason why is because of how viable they really are for damn near every single activity in the game that requires DPS. If I were to guess, the weapon that would be the most annoying to get and probably the most enticing for a lot of people solely because of how weird and unique it is Wilderflight, because you have to get it from Spire of the Watcher. But if you have done it already, realistically, like I said, you only need Vorpal Weapon. I also mentioned this a little bit, but not fully in depth when I was showing Mountaintop and Sunshot a couple minutes ago. But Mountaintop, if you have Recombination on it, everything else is up to your preference, but I chose to have Let from Gold on mine solely because if I pick up heavy, I get special as well, and that's basically what I want it for, considering having ammo is something that as an endgame player that I'm pushing myself to become more and more and more as I low man encounters. Yeah, I desperately need ammo, so I think that that's an insanely essential perk to have, but that is because of my example that I just gave you. So a lot of the weapons that are here, you will probably use a lot, but the perks that you put on them are completely based on you. Luckily, half of these weapons you can craft. Some of these weapons, for the better part of 2 or 3 of them, you can actually just go and buy from the tower kiosk, and the other ones are very easy to earn. Like I said, Wilderflight might be the most annoying one out of all of them, but they all serve their purpose really well, and like I mentioned, a lot of these weapons are easy to get. They serve, and if we ever do a raid together, which you guys should join my Discord and come by and we should play because it's really fun, and I also need to finish Pantheon. But that being said, those are the type of things, those are the type of weapons that I would recommend or ask someone if they have, because obviously, depending on what class they have, the conversation will be different and their playstyle and whatnot. But for the majority, I feel confident saying to you guys and for anyone that is curious that this is a really good slew of weapons and perks. Now, they have been on screen for you guys. I'm not going to sit and explain what every single perk does, obviously, because I would like to believe that you guys already kind of know, even though there's like a slight indicator of what each perk does below. You guys get the point. So if you enjoyed or if you found it helpful in any stretch of the word, I really do appreciate it, and I really hope you consider subscribing, and I will see you guys soon with more challenge videos. But I just wanted to get this out, so have fun everyone. Peace out.